Hey, Reham. So another set of essays from you. Good. Let's take a look here. This is about gap years. So let's see what you wrote. Okay. More and more adolescents are opting to work before pursuing higher education. Personally, I support this trend for two main reasons, which will be discussed thoroughly in this essay. All right, fair enough. To begin with, taking a gap. It's not gab. Gab is an informal way of saying chatter, chat, talk. All right, so be careful. Because it's another word in English, you really want to be careful with this because an examiner will say, well, it's, yes, a grammar mistake, but it's also a coherence mistake because it totally changes the meaning, okay? So, to begin with, taking a gap with a P year for work purposes could be beneficial for youth's study and work prospects. This is largely because this would enable them to explore various career options and make them familiar with different work environments. This, in turn, will help them discover niche working fields that may match their innate capabilities and preferences accordingly. For instance, many Egyptian secondary school graduates seek employment opportunities in intern cyber cafes. I don't know what that means, in intern. Do you mean that here? Or do you mean seek employment opportunities as interns in cyber cafes to acquire basic computer skills before studying IT-related specialties? Consequently, they become more acquainted and, careful, this is confidant, which is a noun. You want an adjective. You just want confident without the E. About their future study courses at the university. Okay, let's see. One main advantage. Let me just double check why. Okay, it doesn't ask you to provide multiple advantages, so you're fine. Moreover, excuse me, starting to work early in life can be financially rewarding for adolescents. This is particularly useful in saving money for future education expenses, especially those who lack familiar financial support. For example, many Western students would fall into debt to cover their admission and study fees. I don't know about this would here. No, let's change it. Let's say instead, for example, many Western students often fall into debt to cover their admission and study fees in universities. Therefore, money gained through working in a gap, again with a P, could be explored to ease monetary burden to secure decent study opportunities. Okay, fine. To conclude, I totally stand for youth's employment before joining the university, since it not only would enable them to properly choose and excel in their future academic and vocational fields, but also prepare them for financial demands needed to continue their educational journey. It is hoped that parents encourage their offspring to take advantage of the gap year employment for the best interest of their future life. Okay. Let's take a look at this one more time. So as you can see, I didn't really change a lot in terms of grammar and vocabulary. I actually read through it rather quickly, and for me, that's a good sign. When I'm able to do that, that means that it flows, essentially, okay? So it flows, and that's definitely a good sign in terms of coherence and cohesion at the very least. Here, I thought you did very well with the grammar as well. I thought you had a variety of cohesive devices, although I do want you to be careful. Take a look at this. This in turn, for instance, consequently, to begin with, okay? And then, look at this. Moreover, for example, therefore, to conclude. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because these are considered front position cohesive devices, and they are essentially a hallmark of cohesion at the band 6. So when you are trying to prove that you have or that you can show good cohesion at a band 7 and above, you really want to limit these. All right, because what these essentially do is they act as a speed bump. Think about when you're driving and you cross a speed bump. What do? You brake, and then you kind of slowly go over it, and then you keep going. And so that's what all of these front position linkers do to begin with. This, in turn, for instance, consequently, okay, in that paragraph, every single sentence was full of them. So you absolutely want to avoid that. Try to limit these. I'm not saying don't use them at all, because you do want to show variety, but you also want to show flexibility and the ability to create cohesion without these. A good example of that is this sentence right here. Okay? Let's let's see. So that in terms of coherence and cohesion, what else did I want to talk about? Let me ask you one question here. Are there any reasons why you think it could be possibly negative to study before university? Are there any reasons at all why it might be? You may want to consider that as an option when you're doing this in order to possibly improve your task achievement score. I'm not saying you have to, particularly not in an essay like this, since they've asked you a very specific question. Do you think it's better? Well, if the answer is yes, then fine. So I thought what you did here is fine, but let me tell you one thing. One thing that I don't like is I don't like seeing an introduction or a conclusion that is the same size or larger than one of your body paragraphs. Essentially, this is where you want to focus all of your writing, okay? And this should simply be a formality where you restate what you've talked about and then you kind of just get out there with, you just leave it with like a nice thought-provoking sentence and then you're done. But where you really want to emphasize all of your effort is here in your body paragraphs. And you didn't do that because if you look at this, these are the same length. So I'm going to encourage you not to do that. You absolutely had the right idea here. Look at this. This is like 3 lines. And this goes into like, I don't know, 8. I can't even count them. It's like 8 or 9 lines. So that's the right idea. I'm not saying that you have to get obsessive about this. I certainly don't want you to be. But this is 6 lines and so is this. So my advice to you would be kind of try to dedicate maybe 1 extra sentence with this. You've got a little more beef to your body paragraph and maybe take away some of your time from your conclusion. Okay? Because it's really in your best effort. That's where you get points for development. You get them from your body paragraphs and how well you develop those and not from your conclusion or your introduction. They have very specific roles to fill your conclusion and your introduction. And once you do those, you don't want to spend too much time on those. All right, so fine. Let's move on to your task 1. See what you did there. Okay, so in this one, you need to have an item produced. Let's see what you wrote. Dear Sir or Madam, I have seen your promotion yesterday in Kids in Motion magazine, and I am writing to order a customized item for my son. As mentioned in your advert, your company designs and produces special gadgets for their customers, especially children and teenagers. I was fascinated by the displayed products in the magazine, and I would like to order a customized watch. I need a digital watch with a blue leather, not leather, to get rid of that ED here, and a silver circular monogram. I also want a GPS to be installed in the watch, and it would be great if my son's name, Moaz Adam, could be printed on the strap as well. I have been searching for a special gift for my son for weeks, so I was relieved to know about your services. This watch will be the 5th birthday present for my child, so I would appreciate if it could be executed and delivered within 2 weeks from now. Additionally, the location detector feature that is included in your gadgets will be extremely beneficial for monitoring my son at any time. Your swift response is highly appreciated. Yours faithfully. Okay. So, what item do you need? Why do you need? All right, it's perfect. I have no complaints about this. I thought you did a very nice job. I actually liked this quite a bit. I thought you were descriptive. I thought it was I had very nice vocabulary. It felt very natural to me. You saw the ad in a magazine. You said, yes, that's exactly what I need. And so you're reaching out. I thought this was very nicely done. So really, really good job. I liked it. I don't have any complaints about it or anything that I'd want to change, except for maybe 1 or 2 little things like this that we already fixed. Well done. Okay, so you did a really nice job with this. Continue, correct them, bring us back another set of essays. We're here ready to read what you have for us. So get started and we'll meet back here with your next set. Good luck.